Embarrassing. Oh, there we go. All right. I just was texting Jerry, and he's with us, so I'll get him on in the double box. Uh, Listen, Jerry, can you hear me tonight? You got me?
I can't hear you great. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Jerry, I don't really know what else to say other than that was embarrassing. I mean, I don't know what other word to use other than that was an embarrassing performance by the Sacramento Kings tonight.
Well, it's a case where, one team played well above average defense and the other team played well below average defense. And when you get that combination going head to head, you're going to get an ass kicking. And that's just what we saw.
When have the Kings played above average defense?
Not this year.
So, I mean, this is what they are. I mean, I'm sorry. I know you can blame everything you want on Keegan Murray, and I'm not saying that's not an issue, but the reality is that most teams the Kings have played this year have had key guys out. I mean, the team defense, and I got to tell you, Jerry, we were unable to connect with you the other night, but it is mystifying to me how the Sacramento Kings, when you look at the points allowed and field goal percentage the last two nights, have completely taken Keon Ellis out of the rotation. I mean, unless there's something going on behind the scenes that I'm not privy to and you're not privy to, this makes zero sense to me, Jerry.
Well, me either. I mean, I've said this many times. I think he needs to play 30 minutes a game. Obviously, you got a lot of guys. You got too many guards, and that creates a problem. But really, Keon's the guy that can kind of fit in with guys who are ball dominant, needy scorers, because he isn't. And I think that's kind of the problem. You've got older guys who are good offensive players, but who are kind of really, when you get 30 some years old, you're not going to change how you play. and so you've really got a lot of below average defenders on this team. And as you pointed out, Keegan's not going to solve all the problems. I mean, right. When a guy like Precious Achiuwa comes in, it really does make helps you. And this is a guy who, quite honestly, he's an NBA player, but there's a reason he wasn't with the team for a couple of months. He'd been with New York and Miami, and both teams felt that probably is that he's a nice 8th, 9th, 10th man. But the Kings need him. He's clearly a 4th or 5th guy for the Kings.
A couple of things, and we're getting a lot of questions on this, both here on the chat line and on my social media as it relates to Doug Christie. Is he coaching this team? I mean, I can't understand these moves. They don't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. They just don't make any sense to me. And I'm watching this, and I'm just like, is he being told who to play? Is he doing this on his own? His post-game press conferences to me don't make sense. The other night he said, well, I'm going to go with the guys that are my best defenders. Well, that's not what we're seeing, and you don't really have enough best defenders to put onto the floor. Tonight it looked like they quit on the team. I mean, in the third quarter, they looked like they quit to me. And I watched a couple of sequences in this game where the Kings thought they were fouled, one by Zach LaVine and another by DeRozan, and they were 4 or 5 seconds late getting back on defense because they looked so frustrated. And I'm just wondering, have they already stopped listening to Doug? It looks that way to me, unless I'm blowing this out of proportion.
Well, you probably are this early.
Okay.
You're going to have to give it a few more games. I mean, it was certainly a bad look. But, from watching professional sports all these years, you see a Buffalo Bills gets beat by the Dolphins. Stuff happens. I'm not excusing anything the Kings are doing because, as I've said, when you're giving up 70 a half, you're not going to win. And they've been giving up 70 a half now too often. I just think it's a miscast roster. This is an old team. It's tough. It's tough to turn old teams that really had habits of how they played offense and defense into something different. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I right now they're not a good team. They're just
they're not only not a good team. They don't have any direction. They don't have a vision. Like there's nothing that the Kings are doing right now with the assemblance of this team. In other words, putting the team together, the assembly of this team. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to you. Doesn't make sense to the fans. Like, what is the goal of this team? You're not going. You may sneak into the 10th spot this year or the 9th, but you're not going anywhere. Then you're going to be stuck with a draft where you're going to have to get lucky again to get a good player. Like, what's the vision? I don't see a vision with this team at all right now.
Well, only thing I'll say, and this is, hey, at the end of the day, this is an old team. Okay, it's an old team. The only time you want an old team is if it's a winning team. The Clippers are an really old team. Now, they're not very good either, but there is expectation there. But my point is, when you have a bunch of older veteran guys and you can't win with them, well, you got to move on. And so we'll know. It looks certainly it's heading that direction right now, but another 10, 15 games, you'll have all the information you need. And I think the front office and owner, they'll say, basically, come on, guys, like you said, at best, you're fighting for the 10th, 11th, 12th spots with an old team. There's no reason to do that because the next year you don't improve with the same guys. I mean, they only get older.
Well, I've been saying this. I've been saying this for 3 weeks. I think the Kings season is going to be over by Thanksgiving. This is just a roll. This is the start of the disaster because of the schedule they have upcoming. I don't see how they can possibly beat Denver with their lineup. Atlanta's the third game in 4 nights, and Atlanta's actually been playing pretty well without Trae Young. Then you go on the road and you have a murderous road trip, and then you come home and it's Thanksgiving. I think this team's going to be buried by then. You're now 3-7, and everyone that thinks that Keegan Murray is going to come back whenever that may be and just all of a sudden make the Kings like a really good defensive team, I'm sorry, that's not happening because they're not good enough elsewhere for that to happen. He'll help them. He'll help their interior defense. He'll help in a lot of areas. But like, if you think that's just going to change the fortunes of this team, I'm sorry, it's not going to. There's a lot of issues with this team. And I think first and foremost, you just do start with keeping the man in front of you. Jerry, the Minnesota Timberwolves, yeah, they had a big advantage on the front line. We know that. But their guards broke down the Kings guards whenever they wanted to.
Well, they did. And when the Kings went to the zone, they were just able to penetrate it pretty much at will and get the short corner three. So there was nothing positive about this game. I mean, if you want to be optimistic, and the only way you could be is to say they played awfully well against Milwaukee and won a game, and they really played well against Denver and lost a game. But these last two against Oklahoma City and tonight against Minnesota were terrible. We're terrible examples of basketball, and we'll see what happens. But I'm not ready to. I don't do anything on 8 or 10 games. I mean, in the NBA, my guess is this next 10 games and with the schedule, you'll find out. But I'll just go back to my first and last point. It's an old team. If it's not a winning team, you got to change it. There's no reason to have an old losing team.
Okay. And at what point do you make that change? 25 games, 30 games, all-star break? I mean, when do you make that transition based on what you just stated?
Well, I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know that there's no rule. I mean, it's not like you got all-stars sitting over there to play.
Right.
So no, because I think really when that decision is made, it's to look at the young players you think's got a future, number one. You might start looking at that different. But more importantly, you're going to start looking at the trade deadline, because really the reality is you can't do much to really change the direction of a franchise until the trade deadline, because you have to make moves there. There's nobody on the roster currently that's going to make a big difference. That's not playing. So it's a long, it's to me. So I'm not one of those that says, okay, just bench everybody tomorrow. What's the point?
Right.
It doesn't accomplish anything.
Well, the Kings have Denver coming up next. They have 3 days rest before the game. And I beg to differ a little bit with you in the Denver game. I thought that Denver was knew they could control I didn't. When I was watching the Milwaukee game, I said to myself, I really think the Kings can win this game. There was no point when I was watching the Denver game that I ever say to myself, I think the Kings can win this game. Denver was toying with Sacramento, and they could do whatever they wanted to whenever they wanted to. And as soon as Nikola Jokic came onto the floor, the game was completely lopsided. So we'll see. Listen, here's the bottom line, Jerry. You've been in this position in a lot of various roles, both as a general manager and as a coach. One win can really do wonders for you, but I don't know where that one win is on the schedule right now because I don't see it being against Denver with the matchups. I just don't.
Well, no, I don't either. I mean, I thought against Milwaukee that was one, but but your point about Denver is just this: hey, they're a championship contender.
Yes.
There's no reason the Kings should beat them. They're not as good.
I'm going to interrupt you for a minute. Let's see if we can listen in on Doug Christie. Ryan's in the post game press conference. Let's see if we can hear this. Let me bring this up here. Well, I don't hear anything yet. So no sound. We'll give it a second or two. But right now I cannot hear anything. So we'll get back to that in a minute. Sorry, Jerry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to hear Doug's comments if we could. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's my only thought on the Denver thing. It's like, well, I didn't expect them to win, but then you shouldn't expect them to win at Denver, a team that's one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the league currently, and will probably be at the end of the year. So,
yeah, I agree with you.
A team like that, just if you can play with them and feel like you can scare them a little bit, that's probably about all you can hope for.
There are little things that are going on right now also that I don't understand. I don't understand why Domantas Sabonis, who's got an apparent rib injury, who's playing in pain, who was affected again, is on the floor in the fourth quarter with the team down 30 with 5 minutes left. Like, I don't understand that. Like, none of this, there's nothing that's going on right now that makes sense to me. That's the biggest issue I have, Jerry. I'm looking at this team, and you talk about the age, which I completely get, all right? I'm looking at minutes played. I'm looking at, like, what is going on with distribution of minutes. Like in a blowout, I'm sorry, I want Nate Clifford playing more than 23 minutes. He only played 17 the other night. I want to see him playing 30 or more minutes, okay? I don't understand how Ryno gets onto the floor the other night early and, showed us something, and tonight he only plays 5 minutes. Yeah, I understand you might say, well, he can't play against Randall and Gobert. Well, who can he play against? Get his ass on the floor and let's get him some work. I mean, it just nothing makes sense. Why is Sabonis on the floor tonight with 5 minutes left in a team down 30 points? It makes no sense to me.
I'm not sure that he should have been on the floor at all.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't, he got some numbers, but he wasn't himself at all. He wasn't effective, certainly, and you could see it. Wouldn't have, I don't know, in my mind, if you're going to, Domas is going to play every time he can. And
yes, he's a tough nail. He's a tough nail.
Sometimes you just got to tell him, hey, no, it's not in your best interest or ours to play.
Is it too early to say that the Dennis Schroeder signing has been very disappointing?
No, it's been disappointing. I think that. I mean, and I think, it's like he's been as disappointing as Russell Westbrook has been positive, for the most part. But there again, you got 2 of them. And, those are veteran guys that, you feel you got to play. I mean, I think Levine is he's been very good pretty much all the time. But right now, the Schroeder signing doesn't look like a good one.
What do you see as the biggest issue with him, Jerry? Because we've watched him play a lot over the years, and we were always pretty complimentary of him, but he looks lost in a lot of the games. Tonight he looked lost. Yeah,
he's even really turned the ball over a little bit too much, and I think he's looking to score too much. I think on this team you really need him to be totally focused on being a playmaker. It'd be ideal if in my mind, I thought if he'd be a 8 to 10 point a game guy and an 8 to 10 assist guy. That's really what you need from him. You've got enough scorers, and then kind of take leadership on defense, which we haven't seen that either.
Would you start Westbrook and bring Schroeder off the bench?
I would. Russell's been the better player, and certainly I would say with Levine it'd be just as good a fit, if not better. And so if you're going with trying to put your still at this stage where you're going to put your best team out there, then put your best team out there. So, I mean, I don't even know what the best team is, to be honest with you. I mean, that's, it's just like I say, I mean, I think Achua certainly proved that he belongs out there, which it almost should concern you a little bit that a guy that can be let go by a couple of teams and is out there for a month can be picked up and be one of your better players right away.
Listen, I think that I'm speaking for you because we're getting some comments on this. We're not calling Keon Ellis the savior of the Sacramento Kings. What we are saying, and I believe I'm speaking for Jerry here, and if I'm not, please correct me, is that we feel he is one of their better players. Okay, when we talk about top players, whether it's starters or the 3 or 4 in a rotation, we feel that he is in that group. And we're very puzzled to why all of a sudden he's out of the picture. And even the fans tonight started chanting, "We want Keon, we want Keon, we want Keon." They see it, we see it, but for some reason, Doug Christie doesn't see it.
Well,
and what's mystifying to me, Keon is exactly the type of player that Doug cherishes. Like he's like if Doug wrote down on a piece of paper the characteristics that he wants in a player, a lot of them are going to be Keon Ellis.
Well, I've always said, I mean, that's one thing with Keon, and I, as you know, I do a podcast with the Kings Herald, a lot of King, and almost there's 95% of the people that say the same thing what we're saying about Keon. So people can have their different opinion. That's okay, but when a team says we want to play defense and we want good 3-point shooting, well, he's both of those.
Right.
He's been a 43% 3-point shooter for several years now, and he's the best individual defender. And so it's hard to say we want defense and 3-point shooting and not play one of your best 3-point shooters and your best defenders. And I mean, and I know kind of what's happened because there's a lot of people involved in these things. And when you get veterans, older guys, they're brought in to play, and they've been stars. They expect to play. So to get Keon on the floor, you're going to have to ruffle some feathers, and I personally think some feathers need ruffled.
The other aspect is Keon's mind right now has got to be like, what on earth? Like after the way he's been dealt with in his tenure here in Sacramento, number one, I would think he's looking to get the hell out of Dodge. But number two, I mean, how can he maintain his level of confidence with what's going on? He's saying to myself, this team has no belief in me. They don't appreciate what I do for them. I mean, it's a hard situation for him to be in. I know, Jerry, you always say, well, you're getting paid and you're a professional, but they're still human beings and they still have emotions.
Well, and in fairness to him, I mean, he's going to be a free agent.
Yep.
He's, not a restricted free agent, a free agent.
Right.
And so, and I know how this league works. And even if Keon, which I thought he showed frustration the last game when he got in late. I think for the first time, I thought looked like he rushed a couple of shots up there, which he never does.
Never does.
But I mean, I the way the league works, him being a free agent, I guarantee if he's been reminded of the situation by his agent on a regular.
You better believe that. You know that. You better believe that. Hey, New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. They're available 24/7 for your plumbing needs and repairs. NewWorksPlumbing.com, whether it's water heaters, water line repair, sewer repair, water filtration, gas lines, 916-713-1010. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. I don't think they have any fix for the Kings' problems, though, Jerry. That we wish they did.
Well, they can do a lot of good work, but that probably is a little bit, out of their pay grade right there. And ours, for that matter.
Well, we always appreciate you coming on. Ryan's going to join us in a moment. What would you tell the Sacramento Kings fans right now? Because they're all going, what on earth, right? They're like, what on earth? How is this team so bad? What would you say to them right now?
Well, I'd say you're exactly right. This team is not very good right now. We're going to try to get back to work and put on a better show for you. You deserve a better show. With the schedule coming up, don't know how many we'll win, but we're going to be out there and compete every night. They got the right to expect that. And this last certainly tonight's game, they did not get a professional effort out there, and that I can't say most of the time they had. Tonight they didn't.
No, they did not. Jerry, you have a good evening. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you after the Denver game. All right.
After the big upset over the Denver Nuggets, right?
You take care. Hey,
That's all.
bye-bye.
Okay, see you.
Great stuff from Jerry Reynolds. Why don't we get to Daniel? Daniel, welcome to the show. You're on with Grant Napier. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
I had a question. Is it wise to fire Christie now and just rip the Band-Aid off, or would that chaos cause more issues in the future and it's not worth firing him and getting an actual coach?
Well, I'll answer the question this way. He's clearly not an NBA head coach. He's clearly, to me, in way over his head. He should have never had the job in the first place. And the players in the locker room may like him, and I know they do, but they can see he's not a head coach. And look at what's happened in the last two games, like the effort, right? The pathetic effort on defense and the body language. It's real bad, and that's a reflection to me of how they feel inside a locker room as it relates to what's going on. So if it were me, yes, I would make a coaching change, but I wouldn't have hired him in the first place. And I'm on record as saying that. I thought it was a terrible move. I thought that if you're going to hire a general manager, the general manager needs to hire his own head coach. And there's no way in the world that Scott Perry is sitting in the game watching from the stand saying, oh, I think Doug's doing a good job. I'm sorry, he's not. Scott sees what's going on. He also sees the team's not very good, but he also sees they're poorly coached. And not only that, and I feel bad for Doug in this way, and I'm going to be real open about this. Doug's a real fan favorite in Sacramento. Sacramento fans love Doug Christie the same way they love Vlade Divac. And yet now, Vlade's legacy is not the same after his GM tenure. And when you listen to Doug's post-game press conferences, I mean, it's embarrassing based on what he's saying and what's going on. It makes you wonder, like, does Doug really believe that? Or is he being told what to say? Doug can't honestly believe what he just said. I mean, Doug can't believe that you're going to play the players that are your best defensive players, and that's what your lineup's going to be, and not play Keon Ellis. I mean, what he says in the postgame, in my opinion, has made him look bad. And I've been going on these various internet sites, and the fans are turning on Doug. They're turning on him, and that's not good for Doug. And so what I would do, I would replace Doug. I would get him in a room, and I would say, listen, we want you part of our organization. We want you to have a different role. We maybe player development, because you're so good with young players, and that's your focus. And what do you want to do? Like, I don't want to bury him. I don't want to say you're not part of the organization anymore, because he loves Sacramento and loves the Kings, but he's clearly not a coach. I mean, I'm sorry. He's you can see it, can't you, Daniel? I see it. Everyone sees it.
I can't disagree. Yeah.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm sorry. He's just not an NBA head coach. He's not. I don't know what else to say. I mean, just he's not ready for it. I don't know if he'll ever be ready for it, but he's not ready for it now. And you can't have this situation's a mess, isn't it? Like, is there any other way to say it other than it's a mess? It's an absolute mess. I mean, it's just a mess. You have a poorly constructed team. You have a poorly coached team. You have a bad owner. Like, what else can I add to that list? You have a bad owner. You have a poorly constructed roster, and you have an unqualified coach. Like, that's a real bad combination. All right? It's a really bad combination. It really is. Bad combination. By the way, you're 3-7 with Denver coming up, and then the next night Atlanta. All right? And when you look at the standings right now in the NBA through 10 games, and I want grades now because the next 5 games have been played. I gave the Kings a D as in dog for the first 5 games. So hit me up on the chat line. The 5 games, the Kings were 2-3. They won out Milwaukee. They beat Golden State in basically a game of reserves. They got embarrassed in their last game, and they got embarrassed tonight. So, what is your letter grade? I'm going to give the Kings a C because they did win at Milwaukee and they did beat Golden State, even though both teams were without key guys. I'm going to give them a C. I can't give them any more than a C. All right, we got F, F, F plus, F. All right. Maybe I'm being too kind here. Maybe. All right, so the standings have Sacramento in 13th place, tied with Dallas. They're behind Utah and the Clippers, who are 11 and 12 respectively. All right, D, F, C what? C to C minus probably, to be honest with you. But I gave them a C, C minus. I mean, they did win at Milwaukee. I can't just make believe that didn't happen. They do have 2 wins, 3 losses. I can't give them any higher than a C, C minus. C minus, D, D plus, D, F with the red marker. F with the red marker. I had many of those in school. Boy, is there anything worse than getting your homework back or your assignment and in a red marker, F with a circle around it? And then underneath that, it says, come see me. Oh my God. Not only do you get an F, okay, in a red marker with a circle around it, and then under the message, come see me. How many times I would receive work from my teacher with the message, come see me? I didn't like that. Come see me. Oh my gosh. Not a C, Grant. All right, then you tell me, C minus or a D? I gave him a D the first time. I like that. An F with a red marker. Oh my gosh. I appreciate all of the comments. Be sure and join me tomorrow at 3:00 on Fox Sports Sacramento. That's tomorrow at 3:00. Looking forward to that. All right, let's get to Mike. Mike, welcome to the show. Let's see, Mike, let me put you on here. Are you there? All right, maybe it's audio.
Hey, Grant.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Hey, sorry, I'm gonna try and be quick on this because I got my kids here. But yeah, I think you're right about the whole Doug Christie situation. I don't see any. I don't just see them like the chemistry is just not there. I don't see them like following the coach's lead. Like you can see it in other teams. I think a great example, obviously, is OKC and even Cleveland. I just love their coaching staff, but I honestly feel bad for Doug. I think I just agree 100%. If he moves on, I think the better for him and the better for the team. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
You know what?
I just like your.
I'm sorry, he's not an NBA head coach. He's not
Yeah,
qualified for the job, and you can see it. Not that this team would have like 7 wins and 3 losses instead of 3 and 7, but there's no direction. There's nothing going on now that makes any sense.
right. And I think I don't honestly. I hate the Dennis Schroeder situation.
Looks
I
bad,
think
doesn't it?
yeah. I don't. We paid him. We're paying him a decent amount of money. And he's just not like it's just I never liked it from the beginning, and it seems like every move we make is the same like right now. So either you bench him and and the Neek situation is just every time I hear you mention it, it just makes me cringe because I know that he just has a lot of potential and he needs those minutes, So yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, Grant. I'm
No,
ranting
you
here
know
too.
what, Mike? That's good. You should rant. That's what we're here for. I ranted. I want rants. That's all good, Mike. It's all good. I mean, the bottom line, Mike, is this is embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah. Every game feels that way. And my friends text me every game. It's just, yeah. But I'll let you go. I'll let you know.
Thank you,
Go,
buddy.
Grant. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Take
Thanks
care.
for the call. All right, take care. All right, BJ, you're next here. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, my man, how you doing? Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Hey, I think it's the only thing that is consistent with this organization is inconsistency from the top to the bottom. But we kind of knew what was going to happen into this year. I think the Kings' hands are a little bit tied this year. I can't see them making any trades, and if they do, up until that point, until we get back from these injuries, I think the starting 5 should be Westbrook, Keon, Neek, Murray when he gets back, and Sabonis. And you're gonna have to bring. I think the Schrader. I was never really a Schrader fan. I thought he was mid-level. He's a shoot first point
Schroeder.
guard. You know what I mean. I just don't like his attitude. And the effort, the reason why there's D's and F's and F minuses and pink F's and red F's is because it's a lackluster effort. If you give some effort at the very least, you can at least the fans have something to watch. But if you already quit on your coach or you quit on the organization, which they did last year when they requested
That's right.
they requested trades last year. The veterans already quit, so you already know that they don't want to play there. So let's go with the young guys. Keon, if you're not going to play Keon, then at least come out and say why you're not playing him. He's not hurt. It doesn't make sense, and I think it's a slap in the face and it's disrespectful to put him out there in the fourth quarter when you're down by 27 points. It doesn't make any sense, and I don't think Doug. He's like a fourth guy on the bench, but he shouldn't. You shouldn't say one thing. It's empty words. It's basically lies, and then throw a different wrench in the game every single game.
It's a bad look.
What do you think of the last game? I was appalled that Levine, maybe he was sick or he wasn't feeling good, but his attitude was like he wasn't like incorporated in the offense. He didn't shoot his fourth attempt wasn't until the third quarter with 9:20 left in the fourth quarter.
I told you that these veterans would be telling their agents, "Get me out of here before Thanksgiving," and I believe that's going on already. I believe that the agents,
for sure.
I believe the players are telling their agents, Keon's telling his agent, "Get me out of here." DeMar's tell him, "Get me out of here." All these guys are telling their agents, "Get me out of here." And no one wants to stay here. Everyone wants to leave.
Well, if that's the case, and the jock sniffer has got to put seats. You got to put fannies in the seats. Then you better put a product on the floor that is going to give it their all. Yeah. Schrader, he can come off the bench. Westbrook, at least his motor runs high. Put Neek out there. Put Keon. He plays defense. Get the ball moving and get some type of flow. And even if you get blown out by 20 and you play good basketball, the fans will be happy. This type of basketball is garbage.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy. Have a good night.
Appreciate Later. It. Love you. Hey, how do I get?
Appreciate it. All right. Hey, don't forget to check out DAS Mechanical for your heating and air needs. And right now, through the end of this month, they have a $69 winter maintenance check. All right. You go to dasmechanical.org. You can book online, check out all of their 5-star reviews and their numerous best of the best awards. It's right there for you at dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org. They're HVAC retrofit and service specialists serving Placer and Sacramento counties, family owned. And again, they're awesome. Go to dasmechanical.org. Once again, dasmechanical.org. All right, we are ready to bring Ryno in. Ryan, listen, I used the word embarrassing. We've had a lot of calls already. Jerry's thought it would, there's nothing really positive from tonight. Did you take anything away from the post-game press conference?
Yeah, Doug is, very bold, but, we've heard him that way before. And we need to see some bite behind the bark, right, Grant?
Bold in what way?
Heard just very bothered by the team's effort on defense. Very, how do I say? We're uploading the audio now so we can hear some of it. Just does not like the connectivity of this team. He feels like there's individual defenders that are good, but you have to start and defend as a team together. You've got to be able to get to the fundamentals, which are being in a stance, etc., and communicate. Yesterday's practice was a practice that was a communication practice in film, as Coach Christie labeled it, and clearly tonight, unfortunately, did not show on the court.
This team is very poorly coached. I've been very open about that. I said that he shouldn't have gotten the job in the first place. He's not an NBA caliber head coach. It's not personal. It's just the way it is. You can clearly see that this job is too much for him, in my opinion. He's in over his head. The comments that come out of the post-game press conferences don't jive with what I'm seeing on the floor. The actions and the substitution patterns make no sense. Just nitpicking here. So you have Domantas Sabonis, who's playing in a great deal of discomfort. It's pretty obvious. You're down 30 points, and he's still on the floor with 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. To me, it just seems to be total lack of awareness by your head coach.
Yeah, and, the Keon Ellis stuff, that was the fans, because it's an educated fan base speaking back, but this is a team that has allowed 40 points in 3 quarters. I believe it's 3 without Keon Ellis not playing until the 4th. So there's a disconnect there. Certainly, the reason Domas was out there a little bit later is Max got to the table a little bit late. But yes, Domas is powering through things. Grant, one of the things that Doug highlighted, which is spot on, I tracked it throughout the game, they had 18 turnovers for 37 points.
Yeah.
That is almost every single turnover you're paying for with a basket. And it was a carbon copy of what we saw a couple of years ago, where
Yep.
you have Ant that's completely ice cold, and you let him hit a 3, you let him get a 4-point play, you let him get a free throw, and he scores 16 in the third or in the second quarter after he had no points in the first quarter. Here's hopefully this will work. Here is some audio from Doug after the game. See if we can get this to play.
At Bethpage Black on Long Island. And here to talk about it from the Golf Channel and NBC Sports, Steve Sands calling us from New York. Steve, it's Grant Napier. It's good
Nope,
to talk to you.
I
buddy.
uploaded the wrong one.
Yeah,
So
we
we're
can't
not
hear
going to
that
have
anyway.
Doug.
So we're not going to. It's
Oh,
got to
you
be
can't.
louder than that. Yeah, we
Okay,
won't. That
trying
won't
my
be.
best.
All right. So forget about that for a minute. Paraphrase some of the things that you took away from the post-game press conference.
That there is a standard of Sacramento Kings basketball that will be played. He is here to set a standard. What's happening is unacceptable, and that could be argued both ways with some of the coaching decisions. But the straight line drives, just everything starting with the defensive end, says it's very hard to play offense against set defenses when you're fouling teams, when you're not making baskets, and a little bit, I don't want to say combative. He did swear one time, but he was fiery. I think fiery is the best word for it tonight.
Actions
But
speak
nothing,
louder than words. It's the same thing almost
100%.
every game.
100%. There wasn't a lot of new stuff. One thing notable that he said when asked, because Dennis Schroeder is 1 for 16 in his last 16 shots. About Dennis's shooting, he said that, well, he might be a little dinged up. And my response to that would be, well, if he's dinged up, why is he playing almost 30 minutes?
Was he asked a
Should-
direct question about Keon Ellis?
He was. He was asked about Keon Ellis, and he said there's a log jam at that position.
What a bunch of crap.
He values Keon as an individual, as a player. He knows how much that Keon knows how much he cares for him, but it's a numbers game, basically. And when I look at that, it's not a numbers game. It's something else, and I'm not trying to go conspiracy theory,
A bunch of
but there's
nonsense.
there's minutes that can be shaved off here. Dennis Schroeder playing as poorly as he was tonight. How you can't get him or Keon onto the court for a bit there, it's just a little bit confusing to put together when you have an arena that's chanting, "We want Keon," and then booing also in the third quarter.
Fans are not stupid. Apparently, the coach doesn't see what everyone else in Sacramento sees, or he's being told from above who to play and who not to play, which, nothing would surprise me with this organization. Nothing would surprise me. It just wouldn't.
I would agree.
Nothing would surprise me. Here's what I do know. Go ahead.
You had Vivek, Scott Perry, and Alvin Gentry sitting front and center court side for this one. Vivek left the court right around the fourth quarter, a little bit into the fourth quarter.
All right, let's get to Danny. Danny, welcome to the show.
I would agree. Hey, Grant, just checking in. My problem is Keon Ellis not playing, and you got Dennis Schroeder playing how many minutes today? I'm going to have my own rant. I mean, he's shooting basically 1 of 6 today, 3 points, 28 minutes, and then you got Keon Ellis playing 12. I don't know. You tell me.
I can't tell you. I think this is a poorly coached team. I think that this team has no direction. I think they have players that don't gel, and I think they have a bad owner. Other than that, everything's great.
Yeah, and you got Doug Christie saying, "I want my best defensive players out there."
Embarrassing.
Man,
Embarrassing.
give me a rant. I'm out. I just wanted to talk
Listen
about
tomorrow.
that.
Listen tomorrow at 3:00 on Fox Sports Sacramento if you want to hear a rant. I'll give you a rant tomorrow at 3:00, not 5:00. I'll do a rant at 5. I'll give you a rant tomorrow at 3:00.
Beautiful. I'm
Grant,
there.
Thank you, Danny.
here's the reality of the situation, Grant. If short of a team that has a ton of injuries, I don't know with how Dennis Schroeder is playing, how any other team in the NBA would be playing him 28 minutes. He was the big free agent that was signed this offseason, a lot of money that comes along with it. And arguably, you have guys that are outplaying him. Maybe not on a nightly basis, but the good outweighs the bad with those guys versus what Dennis has put out since being in Sacramento.
Yep. And what's going to happen is it's going to be Scott Perry's first big move, and it's going to look really bad. And that's part of what's going on here. It's the game within the game. It's politics. And that, to me, I think has a lot to do with it. Because it could make Scott,
Very well could.
Scott look really bad when his first big free agent signing turns out to be this bad.
Well, again, I'm going to wait on my judgments until you get Keegan Murray back, but I can tell you Domas was very frustrated visibly at the podium tonight. You could tell he's hurting, a little bit lost, and the same could be said about Zach LaVine, who also spoke to the media as well.
All right, let's get to Otis. Otis, you're next. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
What's up?
Hey, so one thing that I hear what you guys are saying. I was actually really, really on the same page as far as Doug. For me, it's his. He doesn't seem to know how to put the right five in the game. I mean, there is you got Schroeder running the point when Russell clearly needs to maybe be there to give a size advantage. Russell, Levine, DeRozan. And then Precious, I don't know why you're taking this Precious guy out. He's giving you the most effort. But here's my real thing that's really annoying me. Why is Sabonis shooting 3-pointers at about 18 to 20% right now? What is he doing? Like that
was their second best 3-point. He was their second best 3-point shooter last year.
41%. I agree, but it's not this year, right? And if you guys noticed, there was a point where he took that 3-point shot. And he missed, and they came down. I think they came down and scored. I mean, he has to stop shooting right now. Doug does not have a good feel for which guys to put in and which guys don't, and that's what disqualifies him from being a good coach.
I think you hit that on the head. To me, after watching him coach, he does not have a good feel for what's going on in the game. He might be a good practice coach, and he might be a good motivational guy. But during the game, his in-game, I mean, we saw it in the play-in game against Dallas. I mean, he was so thoroughly outcoached by Jason Kidd, it was embarrassing. I mean, it was.
Grant, I'm glad you brought that up because from my perspective, where we're sitting when the team's at home and watching them, this offense that was changed this summer, the only change that's happened to this offense is it's become worse. It's become more stagnant.
Yeah.
And even out of timeouts, Grant, you're not seeing out of bounds plays that are being ran. You're just seeing that 3-top motion where you're setting the screen and the ball's going around the top. And it's too predictable. It's too easy. The other team doesn't have to move. And it's not just Doug. He has a full bench of coaches as well. He has Mike Woodson sitting next to him. You've got to think there needs to be, Grant, how long have you said
good point.
Structure. This is
Very
not a team
good
that
point.
Mike Woodson's hoping he gets to move over 18 inches real soon. That's what he's hoping.
Hey guys, I won't take up much more of your time. I'm getting ready to get out here, but the one thing that I would say is by halftime, like my son's Ben gave up on this team this year. He's like, hey, let's get some draft picks. I was gullible. I'm like, because I'm a coach and I believe coaching can make a difference. I am done right now with Doug. Let's get rid of him. Thanks, guys.
You, appreciate it. I don't think you should get rid of him in the sense that he's no longer part of the organization. I said that, he loves Sacramento. He loves this franchise. And I'm going to say this tomorrow on the radio, but I'm going to say it here. I think this is really going to hurt his legacy if they let this continue. I think that, it would be better for Doug and would be better for the organization if they could figure out a different role for him. And it is what it is. He's not an NBA head coach. I'm sorry. He's just not. And I'm not saying that if you had a different NBA head coach, you'd be 7-3 instead of 3-7. But what I am saying is you'd have more of a professional basketball team that looks like it's being run properly, coached properly, with a vision. There's no vision at all right now. No vision at all. Ryno, before we get to you, I need to talk about Sunrise Landing in Calusa. We go to CalusaSunrise.com. You can check out their various models at Sunrise Landing. And remember, there are various lot sizes as well. No Mellorews, no homeowners, and adjacent to I-5, all right? Highway 45, Highway 20, you can get there. All right. Shouldn't say adjacent. You can use those arteries to get there to Sunrise Landing. It is next to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Check it out all right there. Blazona Development, a Blazona Development project, CalusaSunrise.com, and check out Sunrise Landing. Ryno, I want to get back to what I just said because I want to give you a chance to respond.
Yeah. I'm not ready to go there yet, but I'm getting close to having that conversation. And I don't know that Doug is not equipped to be the coach of this team. I just don't know that anybody can really coach this team. I really mean that from a sense of there's just too much going on behind the scenes. And Grant, Doug
It has to
Christie
do with
would
the
be playing.
credibility of the franchise, Ryan. That's the national perception.
What credibility? What
That's my
credibility?
point. That's my
right now?
point. It's just the whole thing is a joke, Ryan. People just make fun of the Kings, the national NBA writers, the broadcasters. It's a joke. It's a dysfunctional franchise right now. It's a dysfunctional owner. I'm not going to say that about Scott Perry because that wouldn't be fair. And you have a dysfunctional. I mean, I'm sorry. Doug's not an NBA head coach. He's not. Everyone sees it, and we all knew if he didn't get the job after the Dallas loss, he wouldn't have been interviewed anywhere else in the league to be a head coach. I mean, we got to deal with reality here.
Yeah, you do. You also need to get Keegan Murray back. Doug, hey, I will give him credit here. He said if we need to do hockey style substitutions, we will. He did that
When's
in
that going to
the
start?
first half. He did it in the first half. He brought 4 guys in the first rotation with that starting unit. And there are some bright spots. And I think that for me is what can be more frustrating when you see a guy like Zach LaVine playing at a really high level offensively. He's one of those guys when the ball leaves his hand, you think it's going in. But defensively, he's doing what he can. Why are you not doing more to highlight Zach LaVine? Why are you not getting him more shots? It's frustrating. This team is 28th coming into tonight. They were 29th, excuse me, in 3-point attempts, and they were 9th or 10th in 3-point percentage. You got to get more up, and you got to get them up from the right people.
All right, let's get to Dirk. Dirk, welcome to the show.
Hey guys.
Hey,
I don't think Greg Popovich could come in and coach this team. I don't think it's a
Spot
major
on.
coaching issue. It's a roster. I agree with you, Ryan. I'm not ready to throw Doug under the bus. This roster is terrible. And I think Sabonis is not doing anybody any good playing hurt. You recall last year, he was a great 3-point shooter, and then he had the hamstring injury, and he came back and he couldn't shoot again. And that's the story of this year as well. He had a hamstring injury. He hasn't looked right. I mean, he sped up his 3-point shot. He had a slow roll last year. It was working for him. And I don't know why he suddenly changes how he shoots the 3-pointer. Any thoughts on that?
He's not shooting them at a high enough clip to, really have me concerned about it. I mean, yeah, do you want to have him in the paint? Probably more than on the perimeter. Yes, because Westbrook's shooting the ball well from beyond the arc. Zach LaVine. I will say the striking play for me tonight was in the first quarter when Gobert blocked his shot. I think it was a 2-pointer. It might have been a 3-pointer. And Gobert beat Sabonis back up the court and dunked the ball.
he plays great against Sabonis. He has his whole career, even when Domas was in Indiana. It's a bad matchup for him. If you look at the individual matchups head-to-head over their career, it's a real bad matchup for him. Gobert normally kills him.
Well, I
Yeah,
will say we've
I
had
do
some
think-
big wins. Sorry, we've had some big wins against Minnesota too.
Yeah, they won 5 in a
despite
row
that-
at the Target Center.
Yeah, despite that mismatch. So you bring up a point about Zach. Yes, Zach shooting amazing, but it's not really making a difference. And I don't think it's anybody on the Kings trying to stop Zach LaVine from taking shots. Sabonis and his chemistry has never looked good. I saw a point tonight. I think it's that same play Sabonis got blocked on. He got Zach an open 3. Zach was a little off balance, so he didn't take it, gave it back to Sabonis. and he handed him a grenade basically. So Zach is his own worst enemy. I mean, he tries to play make when he should shoot. You just have to give him simple rules, I guess. Because listen, he shot amazing tonight, and we were down 30. I mean, we can't just say it's like he's not in some way contributing to that, despite his good shooting.
Yeah, Dirk, I'll concede a little bit of ground there, but compared to the Zach LaVine basketball IQ wise that we saw last year, this is a completely different Zach LaVine. He looks much more comfortable, more in flow, and I think him and Sabonis, for the most part, have looked better together than they did for the games last year since he was traded.
I agree, but so are
But
we
you're
going to
right.
just blame Doug Christie for that? Like that? Okay, they're playing better, yet we still are terrible. To me, it's more roster
You could
construction.
you could clone a combination of John Wooden and every other top five coach, James Naismith. They wouldn't be able to figure this situation out. I mean, this is a mismatched roster that is heavy in one spot, and to boot, you have many hands that are in the pot.
Yeah, and
Well,
Grant, to your point, like
I agree with what you guys are saying, but you can't watch the game and not question the coaching that's going on with the decisions, especially in close games. Some of the decisions have been a little baffling. Ryan talked about the plays coming out of timeouts, just little attention to detail, which, I don't necessarily put on the coaching. I a lot of times I put that on the players, but like you just, there's no rhyme or reason to what's going on right now. And I respect the fact that Doug's trying to search and everything, but it's just what I'm hearing coming out of Doug's mouth, at the practices and at the post-game press conference. And then what I'm seeing, I don't think he's dealing with reality. And I really don't. I don't think the guy's dealing with reality. And I'm sorry. I don't think he's an NBA caliber head coach. And I think the sooner the Sacramento Kings make a move to get an NBA caliber head coach, I think things will be stabilized a little bit. Not to a point where you're going to win 70% of your games, but I don't see any stabilization right now. It's just a very unstable direction that I'm seeing between the coaching and what's going on the floor. It's not stable at all. And maybe you're right. Maybe Greg Popovich would still be 3-7, but it would be a better looking 3-7. This team looks completely dysfunctional on the court. They look completely dysfunctional. And I'm sorry, that's an extension of the coaching.
maybe I think Doug's right now is the mouthpiece of decisions that are going on above him. I think Scott Perry doesn't have any faith in this roster. He wouldn't want Zach LaVine. He's already called him not a winning player. I don't know who's searching for like DeMar DeRozan's black hole offense with zero defense. He looks terrible out there. You can't give up that much athleticism at the three. I'm sorry. It's just you got nothing there on the defensive side. And on top of that, you now got like 3 or 4, actually about 5 big egos on this team, in my opinion. Like it's pretty much your whole starting lineup it's got some egos here. How are you going to coach these guys? How are you going to tell, that's their job. But I think we're tanking. It's a tank. That's what's happening.
Well, if you're going to tank,
then you're not doing it the right way.
If you're going, wait a minute. If you're going to tank, all right, you better tank with the development of your young players.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I'll let somebody else talk. Have a good night,
Thank you
guys.
very much.
No, you're good, Dirk. You're a great caller.
I mean, you better, as Jerry said before you came on, Ryan, that's really what needs to happen. At that point, you go from a veteran-laden team to a young team, and that's how you handle that situation.
And if that's the case, then I am fine with Doug Christie seeing this year out because I think he can get the most out of those guys. But if we're going to go under Dirk's premise that you've got guys that are making more money than probably what their market value is, they're guaranteed for 2 and 3 years as long as they're getting their numbers and their minutes. The paycheck's still coming. And does that mean that you're getting the same effort that you're going to get night in and night out of them? Maybe not. Dennis Schroeder's been on many teams. And knowing how bad you needed a point guard, Grant, to stir the pot.
Yep.
Like that is conversation number one. And for there to be a disconnect with communication, which Coach Christie is talking about, it's those things that don't make sense. Dennis Schroeder was not brought here to shoot 28% from beyond the arc.
I do not disagree. And now you have a stretch of back-to-backs coming up, right? So you have Tuesday night Wednesday in Atlanta, or Wednesday here against Atlanta, who will be in Sacramento, fully rested and ready to go. A Denver team that toyed with you a couple of days ago in Denver, who have 3 full days off. All right. So they're going to be very well rested. And I don't see how Sacramento has any answer for them. I just don't. Could be
Different
ugly.
combinations.
If you head
But,
out
you
on
know,
the road, if you head out on the road 3-9, Ryno, you're in deep, 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 deep trouble.
the one thing I did ask Doug about,
Yeah.
because most of it was he had addressed the negative, he addressed Keon. I did ask him about Precious because it's another starting lineup that we've seen. Precious had a double-double. I thought his energy was really good tonight. I watched him yesterday work with the coaches for an hour after practice, getting some more of the playbook in. I think that might be an encouraging bridge to get you to Keegan Murray, who still is not quite there yet.
All right. Sounds good. If you want to get in on the program, you can do so. We are happy to be able to talk to you about what is going on with this situation. Ryno, they getting ready to kick you out there?
No, I could spend the night here if I wanted to.
You don't want to do that. You don't
Why
want to.
wouldn't I? I got every.
Well, you can go. You can leave and go to Bennett's Prime Seafood and Steaks. Yes, that would be good.
Better
Bennett'sRestaurants.com.
idea.
Yeah, whether it's the West Side Grill in Rockland, Sacramento, Roseville, Prime Seafood and Steaks at Bennett. Say hello to Brian and his staff for us. Make a reservation. Don't forget about their weekend brunch. Hope you were out there earlier today. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Next up, the Denver Nuggets, and we'll see what the rotation is going to look like for that one. But right now, this is an absolute mess with a capital M, and there's no way to sugarcoat it. What is going on right now is a mess. It's a mess.
I am very proud of the fans that were here in the building because I had tweeted this out. Sacramento knows hoop. They know what works, what doesn't, and if it doesn't work, as long as you are hustling and putting the best guys out there,
Yep.
they're still going to cheer for you.
Yes.
They chanted for Keon, and that was pushback. There was boos, and that caused Doug to address the city and address the fans in a standard. So you're not wrong, Sacramento. You know hoop.
Yep.
You know when something's off.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you got to hope that it changes.
All right, let's get to Ryan. Ryan, go ahead.
Hi, Ryan. Hi, Grant. I was waiting in line because I wanted to talk about tanking, but you guys brought it up just in the last call, so I had to think of a new thing. One thing that came up again, like with Precious, I really like. I mean, I hate talking about at this point for this team. Like, what are some like silver linings in this? Which was like obviously Precious. Do you guys still have any faith in the Scott Perry's vision? Because I was losing it a few games ago with
I don't know what his vision is.
limitations. But then he lands. Oh, go ahead.
I can't answer that question. I don't know what his
Yeah.
vision is.
I was saying, but he then signs Precious, which is kind of exactly what we need: good size and good athleticism in terms of defending. Well, I guess we'll just have to see during Christmas if we make some trades so we could see a vision. But yeah, that's it.
Thank
I don't
you.
really have a
I
question.
hear
Yeah.
you.
All right, take care.
Hey, nice
I mean,
name.
he's
Thanks for
given
the
the
call,
6
Ryan.
principles, right? But I don't know what his vision is.
Yeah, and Grant, if we had to hold his feet to the coals, do you think he'd expect that this Russell Westbrook was going to be the Westbrook that showed up in Sacramento?
No, but I don't like
may have
it. I
thought
mean,
twice.
what good's it going to do? What good is it doing you? You're
Well,
3-7, and Keon Ellis is rusting on the bench.
okay, what I'm saying is he may want to develop these young guys, but he also wants to make sure that it looks like he's making good decisions. And with the way that Schroeder's played, you can't predict Keegan's injury.
Yeah.
And then you finally bring in Westbrook, right? And now you've got both of them logging major minutes. It has put Scott Perry in a very big pickle. If you took an unanimous poll amongst NBA GMs and scouts, I guarantee that they would have Keon and Ellis in this rotation rather than out of the rotation for 30 minutes of Dennis Schroeder. It's just
So once
unfortunate.
again, as you said,
And
you had it perfectly. They're in a pickle because Schroeder's their free agent signing, who they're paying $15 million to, and that creates a major pickle. You're exactly right.
yep, and then you've got Nick Clifford, who's shown and he's finding his way, but he's shown he can handle the ball as well too. That was Scott's big thing. We think this young man can run some point. So I guess maybe the more you play Schroeder, the better he gets. That's what Scott Perry might be hoping for.
I don't know. I just all I know is that back-to-back blowout losses at home is embarrassing. I was okay with the last one for this reason. Okay, you have to be cognizant of the fact that you did not have Sabonis in addition to not having Murray against the world champs. So like that, I didn't lose sleep over that. Tonight was pathetic. Okay, it was absolutely pathetic. No other way to say it. Pathetic. There's
It
no
didn't.
excuse for tonight.
Yeah, if you were watching it with a critical eye, even before Anthony Edwards went off in the second quarter, you knew it was coming. You knew what the Kings were doing likely was not sustainable. They were hitting a bunch of threes. They were still down. Even after the first quarter, the Timberwolves made them pay for every turnover. So you knew it was only a matter of time until Ant got going. And great, it's the technical things too that Doug Christie preaches. How many 3-point shooters have been fouled this year by
A
the
lot.
Kings? You
Happened
had
again
2
tonight.
tonight. Yep, 2 tonight. 4-point play, which gets Edwards going, and it's all downhill from there.
Well, that's it. We'll be busy tomorrow. Don't forget about the show at 3:00 on Fox Sports Sacramento. We'll break this all down, go over the big NFL day as well. So, Ryan, drive home safely, buddy.
Thank you. How about those Seahawks names?
Yeah, they're good. Wait till my top 5 comes out this week.
Oh, really? All right. I'll be listening closely.
All right. All right.
Buddy.
Everyone else, thank you for joining us. I'm not looking forward necessarily to 48 hours from now. The Denver Nuggets are coming in. The last time I looked, they're pretty good too. We'll see what happens.
And it's a late game. It's 8 p.m. here in Sacramento.
Well, so Jerry may not be able to join us on the post game. He might be sleeping.
It's actually the Kings' first national TV game. It's
Oh.
NBC. That's why it's 8 p.m.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Talk to you tomorrow, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
Bye-bye.